Hey guys, welcome back for another Minecraft video brought to you by the Gaming Hut. Today we're going to be going over some redstone, and keep in mind, in this tutorial, you're going to have to remember everything from the beginning to understand the rest of it. So don't forget about the beginning, because it's very important that you pay attention. So basically, the first thing is a powered redstone dust or a redstone torch. We'll go ahead and power any adjacent blocks to it, as long as also above and next to the block above it. However, if you destroy the block above it, the blocks next to that will then turn off. Next, we have a powered block. A powered block is any block that has a powered source going into the block. This now gives off the power to any adjacent blocks above or below. The next thing I'm going to show you is a pressure switch. This acts the same way as a powered block or a torch. It does all the adjacent, and it also goes below. So this is only one block down here, as you can see, just one block. You put the redstone torch down here, the redstone dust down here. Go ahead and throw some stuff in there, and it'll turn on. And either you could throw stuff in there, or you could actually be in there. It doesn't really matter. So the next thing we have is a NOT switch. Basically, a NOT switch is a powered block used to power a source. So right now this is in the on position. Now, with this block, once you turn it off, this torch would now come on and power the block. This happens because when there's a power source going into a block with a redstone torch on it, it will turn off, and the power source on this block will now stop. So over here we have a torch clock. Basically, a torch clock is several NOT switches that are connected with an odd number of switches. So there are only 3 in this case. Most people do 5, but there's only 3 in this case. So it's probably a faster clock, but it has to be an odd number. If it's an even number, it'll just stay lit. So you have to remember it has to be an odd number for this clock. So you just go ahead and place it like so that each redstone dust is pointing into a block. You place down the last torch, and it'll go on indefinitely. This is really good for processes that need multiple actions to complete. And this is actually fairly cheap, because all it needs is torches and redstone dust, which is, you can make this with only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 redstone dust. So if you find 2 redstone, you have a clock. So here's a redstone clock, repeater clock. I spelled clock there wrong. So basically what it is, it's the same thing as this, just with repeaters. It's more reliable because the torches don't burn out. And the only thing is it's more expensive. And it's not really all too expensive, but it's a little bit more. So the way you set this up is you have a bunch of repeaters facing the same direction, because if you have repeaters going in the opposite direction of a power source, it will not carry the current. So this, you just go ahead and power it by placing a torch, button, or a lever, and you get rid of it and place down dust there to make a square, and it'll go ahead and power this. And the good thing about this is you can go ahead and adjust the times by hitting the switches. So right now this is on a 3, so it's going to be delayed. But if I do this, it should go faster. And as you can see, it is going a little bit faster. So let me go ahead and get rid of that. So the next thing we're going to do is a redstone ladder. A redstone ladder is very simple. A powered block is then attached to a redstone torch, which turns it off, like I showed you over there. And the off switch gives no power into this block, but when it's turned on, it will give power. So when there's no power in this block, this torch is on, and like that block, this block is now powered, which turns off this block, which then continues the power all the way up indefinitely. So when you turn on the switch, it'll go ahead and turn that switch on, that switch off, on, off, on, and it'll turn the light on. And if you turn the switch off, it'll turn the light off. So this is really good. So let's say if you have redstone down here, but you need it all the way up here. You can just go ahead and do a redstone ladder and bring it all the way up there instead of building a huge ramp for it. The next thing I want to show... Oh, hi there, cow. How are you doing today? I like your meat. Alright. So the next thing I'm going to show you is a AND switch. An AND switch is basically a switch that requires both power sources to be on, or off in this case, to power the lamp. So if I go ahead and do this switch, and this switch. Okay, so now it's powered. So I switch this, it doesn't change. I switch it off, I switch this switch, it doesn't change. But if both switches are done, wait, got this? Alright, so if both switches are in the same direction, it turns off. But if one switch is off, it'll be on. If one switch is on in the same direction, it'll stay. So you need to have both in the same direction for it to turn off. Both of these have to be on to turn off. This basically works by using this torch and this torch because, as you can see, they're both turned on. They both power this block, which then leads to a redstone ladder, which brings the current up here so you can see the block. And it's very useful for door hidden switches and doors and whatnot. So you go ahead and turn that off. It's still on. Turn this off. Now it turns off. Switch it. Turns back on. So right over here is an OR switch. It's very similar to the AND switch, just if you click one, it goes off, and if you click the other, it'll stay off. Now I'll show you the other one. That also turns off and on. Whoops. Off, on, off, on. And you can have both of them switch and they'll both be off. So that's an OR switch. An OR switch is basically just a bunch of redstone lines going into a single block with one torch. This one torch then gives power off to a redstone ladder, which brings it up to the lamp so you can see. So the next thing we're going to look at is a double door. So what this does is, whoops. So double doors. You can either have it with a pressure plate so that it's easy to get through, or you could have it with a lever. Now, if you have it with a lever, it's kind of hard to have pressure plates, but it's definitely possible, I believe, maybe. So if you get rid of this, then you could turn it on with the pressure plates, and here's the redstone for that. Basically, what it is a redstone repeater or dust. I chose to use a repeater into the bottom block with the power source leading out in a 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, and going up one block leading into the other piston. And then, as you can see down here, it leads down to reach the other side so that they're all synchronized. Going all the way down here. This might not be the best wiring, but it's not terrible wiring. So this is for the lever, so you don't have to worry about that. But right here are two pressure plates. This is pressure plate 1, pressure plate 2. So when you stand on this pressure plate, as I showed you over here, it powers the block below it. So these two then get powered, leading into this NOT switch, which then turns all of this off, all of this off, and then it'll open up. So then when the power is on, the door is open. The door is shut. So the next thing I want to show you real quick is daylight sensors. Daylight sensors work when it's daytime, the switch turns on. So now it's daylight. The light is now giving off a redstone pulse to this block, and it's turned on. And in this case, this is a nighttime sensor, and this is a daytime sensor. This will tell you when it's daytime, and this will tell you when it's nighttime. So let me go ahead and show you nighttime. Alright, so now it's nighttime. This is probably best used for street lights and whatnot, because when the sun is gone, the power now turns off, and the NOT switch comes in handy. The NOT switch then turns on, turning on the light. While in this case, while the light is off, then the power stops and the light turns off. So I'll set it back to day, and now you can see that it has reversed. With daytime, it gives off a power, and with nighttime, it turns off the power because of the NOT switch. So I'll go ahead and give a brief overview of everything so you can go ahead and pause the video and see all the redstone wiring. So I will go ahead and do that right now. That's the this is the basics. This is a powered torch or powered redstone, powered block right here. This is a pressure plate. This is the NOT switch right here. This is a torch clock, as you can see right here. And over here is the repeater clock. Over here is the redstone ladder. Over here is the AND switch. This is top view, and I'll show you our side view. So here's the side view. It's just a ladder. And over here is the OR switch. The side view. And over here is the double door. And I'll show you the underwiring as well. Let's actually open this up a little bit. There we go. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and do all that good stuff. So I'll see you guys next time.